Get away from me! Get away from me!
I don't know why he's rolling all over the floor.
Stay back, freak!
I don't know why the Batmobile is floating. Yeah. So this happened within 2 minutes of, well, 2 minutes of gameplay. That's it. I played the game for 2 minutes and I've seen a guy rolling all over the floor in a completely impossible way. I've seen the Batmobile just floating in the air. What the fuck? And in fact, talking about the Batmobile, the handling on this thing is completely terrible. It is the worst vehicle I have drove in any game ever, right? It is horrendous. You know what? It's like a shopping trolley. You know, a shopping trolley you'd find at the bottom of a canal. That's what this thing is like. It is just terrible. It's terrible. Horrendous. But this isn't even half the problem, ladies and gentlemen, because the game runs like arse. Look at this. You can see the FPS counter up the top left-hand corner. The game's running at 30 FPS. That's because it's locked at 30 FPS. Deary me. Oh, dearie me. You'll also notice as well as I'm moving around, a horrendous motion blur effect, which is just going to make you sick. Maybe we can turn this off in the options. Well, if I take you to my options screen, you'll notice that there is no option to turn off motion blur, and in fact the options are very limited. You'll also notice as well that I've got everything on normal to sort of give a middling ground performance, which I presume most people will be playing the game on. I'm not going to sit here with the game on high and sit and be like, oh god, I'm not getting the performance I wanted. If I'm not even getting it on normal, well, what the hell is going on there? But never fear, you can fix these issues yourself. So if you go to the ini file, which the directions are on the screen right now, and you can see me editing my ini file. So, oh, look at that. We can see that the max FPS is set to 30. Well, let's change that to 120, okay, just to be safe. And also what you want to do is go through this file and find every instance of motion blur, and you want to set it to false, because we do not want that on, because as we've just seen, it is the worst thing ever. So after doing that, you'll notice that the game now runs at 60 FPS, which is pretty nice. Or around about 60 FPS, okay? That's not bad. But what you will notice as you play through the game is the FPS is all over the place. It will drop down really low. It will jump into the 40s. It will just jump all over the place. When you're in the Batmobile, it just goes to shit. It's all over the place. Performance in this game is completely terrible. I mean, you've probably seen enough already in this video for me to persuade you not to buy this game on PC because it's terrible. There is a day one patch, although that's not available on the PC, and we don't actually know what that does. So if that fixes performance issues, well, we don't know. It's not available for us, so who knows? But it's fine, guys, because Warner Brothers, well, they've got all the answers for us. So if we go to NeoGAF, we can see a post from a guy called the Madman 007, and he says, man, everyone here is a bunch of babies. Look, every game release now is going to have problems the day of launch. If you can't troubleshoot or deal with having a few issues here or there, well, I wouldn't call being locked to 30 FPS and the horrendous motion blur and all these bugs, which I've just showed you from literally 2 minutes of the game, a few issues, oh dear. You should probably just wait about a week from now and a few patches will be out and all these little problems will be fixed. Okay, well, some enterprising user on NeoGAF went and found who this guy actually was, and turns out he's Ryan Moore, Executive Director of Marketing, Unscripted and Alternative Television at Warner Brothers Entertainment Group, who are the publisher of Batman Arkham City. Oh dearie me. And then if we go to Steam and we look at the Steam user reviews of this game, everybody is reporting performance issues, loads of things, mem leaks, all of this stuff. Now, I guess in the game's defense, I haven't suffered from a mem leak, but I've suffered from horrendous FPS jumping all over the place. As the things I've just showed you, like with the 30 FPS lock and the motion blur, that was terrible, and that had to be sorted out. I get we're PC gamers, I get we can edit files, but come on, why the hell is that even in? You know, why is there an FPS lock in the game anyway? What? It makes no sense. Why is there no options for motion blur? It's like all half-arsed. It's fucking horrendous, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I can totally understand the shock people are in right now. I'm in shock, okay? Pre-ordering games is, on the whole, something you shouldn't really be doing, okay? But I sat here and I thought to myself, oh, you know what? It's a Rocksteady Batman game. For weeks, months, even years leading up to the launch of this, I was like, well, I can't wait for the next Batman game from Rocksteady. I don't care about Origins because I don't count that because that's not from Rocksteady. You look at Asylum, you look at City, those are awesome games. You'd expect the same for the Arkham Knight, wouldn't you? That's what you'd expect. But we've been kicked in the bollocks. It's just stupid. It takes time and it takes effort to build up trust with the user base, okay? To the point of which where I'm sitting here, somebody who doesn't really pre-order games, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's totally fine, I'll pre-order this game. And I've done it, and I've been burnt. But there's a shining light, isn't there, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the tunnel? Because there's a thing called Steam fucking refunds, okay? And I think this game is going to be the first casualty. Well, I hope it's going to be the first casualty, because to be quite honest, this is an unacceptable practice. You cannot launch a product that doesn't work, and that is horrendous. I mean, there are people with 980s, with like Titan X's, and God knows what high-end graphics cards, and they cannot even fucking play the game at any kind of acceptable frame rate. You know, with £1,000 GPU. What the fuck is going on there? What is going on? It's a disaster. It needs to be fixed. How long is it going to take them to fix it? Well, it kind of doesn't really matter now because the game's launched, and I completely encourage you to just go and get a refund through Steam. It's the only way to teach these people. It's an acceptable practice. I'm angry, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and I'm angry because I'm ashamed of what Rocksteady have done here. And
Get away from me!
I was so pumped for this game, and they've basically released a bag of shit.
Stay back, freak!
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylo, so this is Unit Lost, and Batman Arkham Knight is unplayable on PC right now. Totally unplayable. You know, there's just no excuse for this behaviour. I'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.